Imagine receiving a letter that calmly describes a murder, written by the person who committed it, and realizing the killer isn't hiding from the police. He's waiting to be noticed. Before we begin, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment if you've heard of this case before. Because this story proves that sometimes, the most dangerous criminals don't want to disappear. This is the story of Dennis Rader, the man who called himself BTK. BTK stood for bind, torture, kill. And unlike many serial killers, Rader didn't receive this name after being caught. He chose it himself. He wanted an identity, a legacy. In the early 1970s, Wichita, Kansas was a quiet city. Suburban streets, family homes, churches on every corner. It was the kind of place where people felt safe, until BTK shattered that illusion. His first known murders happened in 1974. A family of 4 was found brutally killed inside their own home. There were no signs of forced entry, no clear suspect, just a scene so violent it left investigators stunned. At the time, police believed it was an isolated incident. They were wrong. Over the next years, more victims appeared. Men, women, children. Rader stalked them for weeks, sometimes months. He learned their routines, their habits. He chose ordinary people living ordinary lives and turned their homes into crime scenes. What made BTK different wasn't just the violence. It was the control. He bound his victims carefully. He photographed them. He relived the crimes long after they were over. And when police failed to catch him, he didn't feel relieved. He felt ignored. So he reached out. Letters began arriving at newspapers and police stations. They described murders in chilling detail, included drawings, poems, and threats. Rader mocked investigators openly, demanding attention and credit. He wanted the city to know that he was still there, watching. Fear returned to Wichita. Parents walked children to school. People double-checked locks. Neighborhoods whispered about who might be next. And every new letter confirmed a terrifying truth: the killer wasn't done. As the years went on, Dennis Rader learned something terrifyingly effective. Fear fades, but attention can be revived. After several murders, he stopped killing, not because he was caught, but because life moved on. People married, had children, built careers, and BTK disappeared into normal life. Rader became exactly what no one expected. He was a husband, a father, a Cub Scout leader, a church president, a city compliance officer who enforced rules and wrote tickets. He blended in so completely that even people who knew him personally would later struggle to accept the truth. But inside, the urge never left. 4 years, BTK stayed silent. The murders became cold cases. New detectives took over. Evidence aged. Wichita tried to forget. And that silence began to eat at Rader. He hadn't been caught. He hadn't been remembered. His crimes were being erased by time. So in 2004, after nearly 3 decades, he came back. Not with a murder, but with a message. Rader sent new letters to local media, referencing his past crimes and taunting police for failing to catch him. He included photocopies, clues, and puzzles designed to prove it was really him. The city froze again. Old fear returned instantly. Police scrambled to reopen the case. Task forces were rebuilt. Evidence was re-examined. But technology had changed, and so had the rules. Rader believed he was smarter than ever. He asked police questions through letters, testing their responses. In one exchange, he asked a critical question: could a floppy disk be traced? Police answered publicly, no. It was a lie. Trusting that answer would be the mistake that ended everything. The disk arrived quietly. No dramatic envelope. Just a piece of technology Rader believed would secure his legacy without risking his freedom. It did the opposite. The floppy disk contained metadata, information he didn't know existed. Investigators traced it to a computer at a church, the same church where Rader served as president. From there, the trail led directly to him. A quiet man. A trusted
Police
member
watched
of the
him
community.
closely.
They followed him, collected DNA from discarded items. When the results came back, there was no doubt left. The DNA matched evidence from BTK crime scenes. In February 2005, Dennis Rader was arrested during a routine drive. The city held its breath. During interrogation, Rader didn't resist. He didn't deny. He didn't ask for a lawyer. He talked calmly, listing names, dates, and methods. No emotion. No remorse. He pleaded guilty to 10 murders. In court, Rader delivered chilling confessions. He explained how he stalked victims, how he broke into homes, how he bound, tortured, and killed. He spoke with detachment, as if reading a report or reliving the control. Families sat feet away from the man who destroyed their lives. Some cried. Some stared. Some couldn't listen. For years, they imagined a monster. Now they faced someone who looked ordinary, and that made it worse. The judge sentenced Dennis Rader to 10 consecutive life sentences. No parole. No release. But the question remained, how could someone live a double life so completely for so long? After sentencing, Wichita tried to breathe again. The letters stopped. The fear finally had a name and a cell. But relief didn't come easily. For families, there was no true ending. Some waited decades for answers. Some died before justice came. Hearing the details brought truth, but also reopened wounds. Psychologists found no psychosis. Rader knew exactly what he was doing. His crimes were about control, fantasy, and ego. He planned. He waited. He relived. What shocked experts most was his compartmentalization. He didn't unravel. He went to work. He went to church. He lived normally, and that made him terrifying. The BTK case shattered assumptions. Evil didn't look chaotic. It looked routine. Rader wasn't caught because he slipped during a crime. He was caught because he needed recognition. And that ego destroyed him.